Hey, I'm Sam from Technologetic, and I just sold my desktop PC. So I'll start with a quick history of my computer ownership, and I'm sure if you look back with the videos on this channel, you'll be able to see some of the technologies and products that I talk about here. Started in 2008 with a Dell XPS M1330 13-inch laptop. This had an Intel Core 2 Duo processor, 4GB of RAM, and I upgraded it to a whopping 80GB SSD, so pretty cutting edge technology. At the time it was good when it came out, but processor innovation was happening a lot quicker than it is these days, and with that we had a lot quicker software innovation, in that the software that we had actually required a lot more processing power as time went on. So I found it got a bit long in the tooth after a couple of years, not to mention the decreasing battery life that I was getting from that laptop, as the battery had been going for a couple of years at that point. A few years later, I started taking an interest in building my own computer, after having watched channels like Linus Tech Tips and Newegg, going on forums like overclock.net, and I could really see you could build a computer for a lot cheaper than an equivalent laptop. I really liked the idea of picking the components to match what I wanted to do with it, so you could get a CPU intensive system or a GPU intensive system, or you could pick your own case, and I really liked the idea of being able to customize everything. So I thought I'd go down this route. In 2012, after working all summer, I finally saved up enough money to get all the parts I needed for the computer I wanted to build. I got a Intel 3930K, which is a 6-core enthusiast processor, because at the time, video editing software optimized for CPUs as opposed to GPUs like they do now. So a really beefy CPU was something I needed to render quickly. On top of that, I got 16GB of RAM, I got a AMD 7950 graphics card, and put it all in a Cooler Master case. So pretty good start to my computer building experiences. And then I've upgraded this over time. So I swapped out the CPU cooler for a Corsair H100i. I doubled the memory to 32GB of RAM, and I even got rid of the 7950 and swapped it for two 7970s in Crossfire. But I had a lot of issues with Crossfire, so I eventually sold that and moved to a 980 Ti, which was really great. So I like being able to upgrade the parts over time to service my changing needs as the years went on. Across this same time period, I also had two MacBooks. In 2014, I bought a 13-inch MacBook Pro, refurbished just for schoolwork, for light web browsing and things like that. I just needed something portable to be able to bring with me to class, basically, and take notes and things. And then in 2016, the 2014 MacBook Pro had red wine spilt on it, so I had to buy a new MacBook Pro, by which stage they had the touch bar. So I got a 2016 15-inch touch bar MacBook. That had a graphics card and a better quad-core processor, but it still wasn't really, didn't have enough disk space for video editing, and it kind of wasn't beefy enough to do quick video editing as well. So if I was ever doing something more intensive, I'd always turn to the desktop back at home, as opposed to doing things on the go with that MacBook Pro. After 7 years of using the same CPU, I knew the inevitable next upgrade would be of the CPU, the motherboard, and the RAM, which is a pretty expensive endeavor. I had this one video project where I had some 4K raw footage along with some 4K compressed footage, and I was trying to edit it, and I was literally getting 2 or 3 frames per second in both Premiere and DaVinci, and it was almost uneditable. It was just so slow. Not only did I have problems with the hardware keeping up and the CPU keeping up with 4K footage, but the storage just wasn't quick enough to let me read it, and I needed something like an M.2 SSD to be able to read this quick enough, but my motherboard didn't support that, so there was a lot of reasons for me to upgrade. So I found the computer was getting a bit old, would have been expensive to upgrade, and I kind of thought, how else can I tackle this problem? At the beginning of the year, I had the opportunity to purchase a new laptop with work, and so I went all out. I got a 15-inch MacBook Pro with a Core i7 6-core processor, Vega 20 graphics, and importantly 2 terabytes of SSD storage. And if anyone's used one of these MacBooks before, you know the storage is really quick. This was great. I knew if I wanted to continue improving my 4K editing workflow, I needed to upgrade all these different things and take advantage of developments in CPU and GPU technology. I didn't want to have to manage files between external SSDs and using the NAS. I just wanted to have everything contained on the laptop so I could take that with me wherever I wanted, and still had all those project files available to me. And this was a great solution for it. 2 terabytes held all the even 4K raw files all internally, and I don't have to worry about carrying any of those external SSDs or anything, like I said. So this didn't come cheap, coming to a total of $6,600, including the education discount that I get here in Australia. So it was really expensive. The most expensive part of that was moving from 512 gigabytes of storage up to 2 terabytes of storage, which added an extra $2,000 to the cost of an already expensive laptop. But with the 6-core processor and the Vega 20 graphics card, it's a very, very, very capable computer. So what did I do with my old desktop PC? Well, I sold it for $900. If we look at the Geekbench scores, my new MacBook Pro has a multi-core score that's a little bit higher than the old desktop, but the single core score is so much faster, and I'm able to do, you can really tell when you're doing things, just general day-to-day activities, that it is a lot quicker. The graphics card, the Vega 20, is about 50% of what a 980 Ti can do, but I actually really don't play games very often. I just use it to speed up video encoding. I've thought about getting a external graphics card, which is something that's becoming more and more supported, but I'd really only get this for the simplicity of using it kind of as a dock. So plugging all the monitors you can see behind me into the external graphics card, and then plugging in the one cable to my MacBook, which also charges it as well. So you only really have to plug in one cable to use all that. But on the way of graphics performance, I'm absolutely so content with the Vega 20 for anything that I do, so not really too worried about that. So now you're probably wondering, am I happy with this decision? Am I happy to get rid of my 7-year-old desktop PC and move to a laptop-only life? And to that I say, absolutely I am. It's so great being able to be portable with everything that I do. I don't need to come home, sit at my desk here to actually get work done. I can do it anywhere in the world and still have the same performance that I do sitting right here. It's great having such a big hard drive. I've allocated 500 gigabytes to a Parallels Windows installation, and I've still got 1.5 terabytes left over in the Mac side to do whatever I want. I keep all my project files there, and I can install as many Steam games as I like, and I've still got like a terabyte left of space left over. So yes, absolutely happy with this decision. So one of the main advantages of a desktop PC is to be able to upgrade it over time. So as your needs change and as components get cheaper or get faster, you can actually change them over time, and I did this with the graphics card and with the memory and with the CPU cooler, and it means you can upgrade your system without having to replace the whole computer. But then, Sam, you've gone ahead and bought a $6,000 laptop that's completely not upgradable. MacBook Pros are known for being not upgradable whatsoever. If I wanted to change anything, I'd probably need to buy a whole new computer. And to that, I kind of say, yes, I understand that, but over the last couple of years, the rate of CPU and GPU technology advances hasn't been as quick as it was maybe when I had the Dell XPS M1330 in 2008. And I found the software that you use to run isn't getting more and more intensive. It's kind of staying at this same level. And so this technology is likely to last me a lot longer because of this rate of innovation isn't happening as quick. And so I'm going to be able to have this computer for a lot longer than I was able to have a computer, say, in 2008. And so if I'm able to have this for 4, 5, 6 years, I think it'll still be fine then, and it'll have paid off basically itself at that point. I've tried to think of some things that I'd miss in 2019 about having a desktop PC, and to be honest, I can't think of anything. In this day and age, a laptop-only setup is perfect for 95% of people and 95% of use cases. While you get a better price-to-performance ratio in a desktop PC, I think out of most of the different things that people use their computer for, a laptop's going to be fine, especially with the performance that we're able to get these days. And so I have absolutely no regrets about selling my desktop PC. So that's why I've sold my desktop PC after 7 years. Do you think I've made the right decision, or do you think a desktop PC still holds a place in 2019? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel, Technologetic.